driven by money, so because for them, when it hits 5 p.m., they are like, guys, I'm done. I'm burnt out. I can't think. So I need to go home. So for them, they have to find something else that they are passionate about on the side to do. But for the person who loves this development thing, they're not even thinking about free time. They're just thinking, how are we launching this app? How is it going out? And you realize in that arms race, if you went into it just for the money, it starts to become difficult. There are people who go into it and they love it. You don't know that you would enjoy it, you start doing it, you actually enjoy it, good for you, go for it. But for me, I like coming from where I am operating from personally. And that's what I want us to interrogate today. Where do you come from personally? As an individual, hapa ni mambo ya self-introspection. It's not about the hullabaloo of what the entire nation is doing. It's not about the market trends. Because if you come at it at the right angle, and you're able to represent yourself the best, you will be successful. Trust me, any industry, ikuwa inatengeneza kifagio, ama ndio tunaenda nayo to the space, if you are able to rise to the top 1%, ama at the top 10%, you will be successful. Because as long as an industry exists, it means that there is money to be made. And if you're in the top 10% of the people making the money in that industry, you're good to go. But there is no way you're ever going to get to the top of an industry if this thing is not driven from within. So you can get to the top 50% if you're just doing external motivation. But it gets to a point where it has to come from you. So, this is an idea by a guy called Simon Sinek. It's called the Golden Circle. And for him, he asked the question of where we should be starting is from here. For most of us, we start from here, from the what. What do I want to do? I want to be rich. How do I become rich? And then now, ukiwa hapo ndani unaanza kujiuliza, why do I do what I do? And you can never find it. So, coming from within, this is not on my bad. Yes, coming from within is the #1 secret. And this also communicates digitally. So many people ask, so what do I post online? If I want to build a brand on LinkedIn, what do I post? And you go, you're like, unaona kuna watu wako conferences, they post that. Kuna watu, they go for specific photo shoots za kukuja kupost on LinkedIn. That's also another strategy. Everybody has their own strategy on LinkedIn. However, the only strategy you will be able to sustain is a strategy that's driven by what you want to achieve. You, yourself, right? All of you know this guy for this. Si mnamjua? Kabilem. Ama inapronounciwa aje? That's the right way. Yes, all of you know him. Before him, who thought that would be a content idea? Before him, if he came to you and told you, najuaje, I have a brilliant, if we do this, it's gonna take off. Alafu akwambia, the only thing you need to do is msee ukifanya kitu fulani, we do like that. If you asked for your 1,000 bob, ati mchangia kanunue kamera ndio film, wangapi wangechanga hiyo pao kwa hiyo performer? Rosafi. Ungechanga? Wewe like unatubeba, kwani hizi ni nini? Unajua? But it worked because it's him. And most of us don't know his personal life. I'm sure his friends know him. That's his type of humor. And then it just happened to translate on socials, and it worked. And it's happening a lot on TikTok, sindio? Si kuna wale watu wako na over 100,000 followers, 500, na wako kwa ushago. wanawapelekaga tu kwa mashamba wakilima wakifanya nini, si ndio? And it's because it's coming from them. They don't start this thing as, so, nani ako na followers wengi? How do I do that? If you do that, you start following someone else's journey. And you start missing it. And then it stops being a personal brand. Because what is the essence of having the personal in the word and it's not yours? It doesn't make sense, right? So starting from your why, from within, that's the most important thing. However, to bring it a bit more home for you, just so that we can figure out how to make a career out of what we are doing, there's another concept called the Ikigai. And this one helps you identify these things, which confuse a lot of people. They're like, I have a passion, how do I make money out of my passion? Do I do my passion? Do I do my mission? Do I do my vocation or my profession, right? These are all things that I know you have thought about at one point or another in your own life. So this one tells you, if there is something you're good at and you love it, what's that? If you love it and you're good at it, what's that? If you love it and the world needs it, that's all. Ndio maana hapa tunaweka mtu kama Mother Teresa, si ndio? Alikuwa anapenda charity na dunia ilikuwa inahitaji sana people to be compassionate. That becomes a mission. So if you are driven by this, if you're going to do anything about it, this is where people start foundations. So you go to Kibera, you realize there is something you can do to help here, you love it, the world needs it, you start a foundation. That serves that, all right? What you can be paid for, this is the money that we were talking about, and what you can be paid for and what the world needs. This is vocation. Hapa ndio mtu kama pastor ako. Unaona? Unahitaji kwenda mbinguni na pia mnaweza toka kitu. That's where we fall. For profession, this is where now most of you are looking into. You're good at it and you can be paid for it. All right? So this is the question of what we were talking about software developer. So, alianza kucode akiwa high school, they are really good at it. And we are developing apps, we have Uber, we have all of these things. Then you get paid for it. For me, I am good at doing these types of things and other things similar to Holder there, marketing things. And companies need that, then they pay for it. And that's where I have my profession. So when you're thinking about your personal brand, there are things you love. Sometimes unashindwa, when I'm posting, ni post vitu za church ama ni sare, ni post vitu za road trips ama ni sare, ni post vitu za job ama like you don't know where to start crafting your brand online, all right? The question is, what do you want that digital brand that you want to build, where do you want it to serve? And then this tells you what you can post. If it's just a passion, if it's your Instagram and you're never thinking of using Instagram as a profession, then probably you can do the things that you love and the things that you're good at. So, if you're an artist, you're never thinking about, okay, this can be like a profession or you want to pursue that. Unaweza kuwa unachora, unafanya nini, unaweka Instagram, watu wanafurahi. So this starts to show you, if you're thinking about your presence online, where are you targeting and what are some of the things that, if you want a profession, then you need to show people what you're good at. If kama unataka hiyo LinkedIn ikulandie jobs, then on your LinkedIn I want to see what you're good at. All right? And part of what we do as how many people here know what LinkedIn optimization is? By the time we do it, who knows what it is? Akona, yes, please. What do you think it is?
You check somebody's profile as it is, then you find a better way to phrase what they have done.
Super. That's what LinkedIn optimization is. It is us helping you communicate better what it is that you want that LinkedIn to communicate. All right? So, I don't know kama niko na net. We might be able to look at an example. Kidogo tu. Tuanze kawimbo before you load. Let me see. Yes, so this is my CEO. Okay. This is my CEO. The first thing that you see is a very clear headshot. So no, it's well lit, you cannot confuse it. If you saw this picture anywhere else, even without the context of a LinkedIn, would this tell you, would this communicate a professional? Would it communicate someone who knows what they're doing? Right? That's the way you start thinking about it. I empower companies build exceptional teams, one strategic hire at a time. The very first sentence on her page tells you what she does. I've told you what Gap Recruitment does. So, she's the CEO. Does that match what she does? See, inafuata, sio? She's the founder and CEO of Gap Recruitment Services. She's a talent acquisition specialist and executive recruiter for East Africa, then she is certified here. So this is what LinkedIn optimization is. If I look at your LinkedIn today, itaniambia exactly what I need to know about you. Itaniambia how many people, ukisoma tu leo, one line ya kwanza, itaniambia this is it. This is what I'm looking for. It will do. What will it tell me? You are a communication and PR profession. So what do you do? That's your profession, but what do you do? She is a talent acquisition specialist. Would you agree on that? That's now this is where your communication expert comes in and PR profession. But what do you do? Yes, you're a profession in that. What do you do? Like, what is it? If you read this one, I told you there is a promise and then there is an agreement. So, I empower companies to build exceptional teams, one strategic hire at a time. So the promise is, if you are looking to hire and to build exceptional teams, you talk to me. So, hii sentence peke yake, hata haujasoma kama qualifications. You don't know it is a talent acquisition specialist. You don't know that. But the first sentence has already told you this is the kind of promise we are working with. That's the promise we are working with. If I'm looking to hire, this is the person to talk to. Inaanza kutia into working with why the promise and the acceptance is important. Because this is what it needs to communicate. For me, I love speaking. What do I do when I am speaking? If I tell you I'm a speaker, you don't know what I do. I'm just a speaker. So no. However, what I do is I share impactful ideas that have the potential of transforming lives.